Hey, what's up and how's it going? This is Toby, and as some of you guys have already seen, we won at the MIT XR hackathon called Reality Hack within the category of augmented intelligence, so combining XR and AI, which is a super interesting topic. And not only did we manage to build a full-on WebXR experience that was completely platform agnostic, but we even managed to make it multiplayer and also created a speech to 3D generative AI pipeline. And in today's video, I want to show you guys how we did it and what tools we used. So stay tuned and let's get started. So the main tool that we were using was the Needle engine. And a while ago I searched for some good WebXR tools, and while I found that there's quite a selection, Needle really stood out to me because they were the only ones that work with Unity, which I already know quite well. And it was super easy to set up and publish something online, which I also quite liked. And Needle also has a exceptionally good documentation with over 100 samples, so that was making it really easy to get started. And of course you could not only create WebXR but also Web 3D experiences compared to some other tools, and has a pretty good free tier that already allows you to publish things online. By the way, for this video, I actually teamed up with Needle, whom I contacted right after trying the tool and finding it awesome. And they are so kind to give a 10% discount for the first 100 people using the link in the video description and the promo code AliveStudios10. So if you want to support this channel and if you want to also support Needle, who have done a great job integrating WebXR into Unity, consider taking a look at the link in the video description. Alright, so here we are in the Unity project of the prototype that we built for the XR Hackathon, and it looks and feels pretty much like a normal Unity project. We also use all the standard systems such as the animation system and everything that you'd be usually used to and like about Unity. And you can even go ahead and import all of the assets that you have from the Unity Asset Store and very easily just, drag them into the scene, like these mushrooms here from some kind of low poly pack I bought some time at the Asset Store, and just use them within your WebXR experience, so they will be automatically then converted to a fitting format. And if we take a look here at the hierarchy, you can see that there's actually this export prefab here from Needle, which then will allow you to export your project to the local browser or to upload it to the Needle cloud, so to make it available online so that you can actually use a link and send it to anyone. And then finally, if we open up the scene here, we do have, for example, the XR rig here and the synced camera, and these are all prefabs and things that you can very easily add to the scene. And then within the scaler, if you open that up, here's the content of our scene. So these are all the objects, and we would probably also need to drag in our mushrooms if we want to see them here. And then we also do have the logic here. And if we now click on the logic, we can see that, let's remove this one here, that here is actually a TypeScript attached. Needle will create a full-on web project for you that will be linked with your Unity project. And if, for example, we're going to open up our file explorer here, we can actually see within our Unity project in the library folder within Needle, there's a whole web project being generated, which will then be used to basically host the WebXR application. And if we wanted to add some kind of logic, so a script, for example, in our Unity project, we would first of all open up this Needle web project with Visual Studio Code or with WebStorm, for example, which I already did here. And now if you're going to take a look, there's actually a scripts folder that we created, and we could now go ahead and do a right click, create a new TypeScript, and for example, call this Hello World script. And now if we wanted to add a new class here, we could say export class, and we could say Hello World script, and this one extends behavior. So this is our mono behavior that we would usually have in Unity. And then we can also simply call these same event functions such as the start method. And in the start method, we could say console.log hello world, for example. And then within our project, we are going to find our generated script link within assets, needle, code gen. And here's the hello world script. And we could go ahead and simply drag this somewhere onto an object. So within our hierarchy, for example, let's actually drag that over here. So within the hierarchy, we could select our, for example, UI world record canvas, drag on the hello world script. And if we would run this in the browser and open up the console, we would see hello world being printed. So to run this locally, it's also quite easy. All we need to do is go ahead and export to a local browser. We can also see the progress within our console here, so begin building web scene, and it will take a few seconds, especially at the first time, but after that it's going to be very fast, so you'll be able to make changes almost at runtime. Alright, and now we can see that it actually is done, finished building, and it's running on our localhost 3000, and we could even use this link with the internal IP address to open it up on any kind of device that is within the same Wi-Fi, which is also really cool for fast testing, let's say with the XR headset, or even on phones or tablets. You can then go ahead and simply open up the server. Alright, and now we can actually see the scene running in our browser, which is super cool. We can move around these figures here, we can move around our mushrooms as we didn't add the interactable component. But we can also select this golden sheet of paper up here. And then we can click record and speak about the highlight of our day, and the generative AI pipeline will create a 3D model. So let's actually test if this is still working. Today I drove with a car. So it should take about 10 to 12 seconds. And yes, here's the car actually, so still working. Let's test one more. Today I'm recording a YouTube video. So let's see what's coming out now. Oh, a mirror. Well, that's interesting. So yeah, actually I'll tell you and show you how we actually did it. But that's basically how it works. It's always super cool to see it actually, and it's so much fun because you never know what it will generate. Yeah, but that's basically how we set up the Unity project. Now let's go into the actual generative AI pipeline and see how we managed to do this one. So within our Unity project, we actually had two main scripts. One was responsible for recording the voice and then sending it to an external server, which is also quite easy as we're already using TypeScript here, which is basically made to interact with other web services such as generative AI. And then we also had a dynamic model loader, which would then actually receive a message via a WebSocket. And then once the 3D model has been generated, would load it into our scene by importing it as a GLB file. So the first script, as the name already suggests, is responsible for recording audio and sending it to an external server. So basically when the user will click on the start button, then it will start recording and also use this subscript of an audio recorder. And once the user is done, it will send it to an external server, which will then take over with transcribing and giving that into a generative AI pipeline. And actually also interacting with UI is really easy using needles. So basically all you need to do is create some kind of button, and then as you might already be used to within Unity, so let's quickly activate the button here. You can simply use here the button on click, drag in your script and select then the function that you want to trigger as you would be used to. And this can then also trigger all these needle function that will write in TypeScript. So this is quite easy. And then there is the dynamic model loader. So this one, for example, which is using a WebSocket and will then connect to our external server. So this one is still on the local host, as we also did some testing on the local host. And I think this one, yeah, this one is actually the final script that we used, which will connect with our external server. And it will then inform our dynamic model loader. So once we receive a message that says model is ready, We are then going to load our model into the scene, and then we're taking the GLTF loader and basically instantiating the model, setting the position, the scale, and we are also adding a component. So basically we have a prefab defined beforehand, which has the interactable component attached to it. And this one will basically allow us then to interact with the loaded in model. And so if we go ahead and take a look within the Unity project, we can see that here the dynamic object prefab is the prefab we've been using, which also has some of the pre-made scripts for needle attach, which are the sync transform and the drag controls. So again, this makes it really easy because those two scripts will allow the multiplayer or the shared aspect, and the drag controls will allow to move it with our hands or our mouse, depending on which platform we are on. So two pre-made scripts that will greatly easify basically our process of loading in and interacting with objects. If we then take a look at the external server logic, we can see that everything is in one script because we didn't have a lot of time to create this. But in essence, all it does is basically it will, when we upload or send a file, we're going to upload an audio clip, and then we are actually taking the OpenAI API to transcribe the audio. So we are using basically a audio to text, if you want to say so, using the Whisper 1 model. And then what we are doing is we are going to actually prompt OpenAI to use the transcribed audio to create instructions for another generative AI model, which was Stability AI. And we are going to use here this second script, so basically a helper script, which is the model generator. And this one is going to then, first of all, optimize the prompt, as already said, using GPT-4 with the instruction to write a prompt for a Stability AI model generator. And then it's first of all generating a image, so taking basically the optimized prompt, generating a image via Stability API, and then sending the image into a image to 3D pipeline here. And based on that, there will be a GLB model created and then returned to our app here. So then after we actually generate the model, it's going to be saved on the server, and then we're going to notify the clients via a WebSocket, which would then again be basically notified back to the Needle project that's running within the user's browser. And the way we hosted all of this was actually using Render, because this was the only tool that we could find in the short period of time that we had, which was providing actual classical servers. Because a lot of modern tools are really nice. They have all these functions and then they have storage and all of that, but it's actually decoupled, right? So you have these serverless functions in something like AWS, which you can call, and then you have storage, which is then separated from it. But as we didn't want it to make the project more complicated than it already was, considering that we only had maybe a few hours left to finish the project, we needed to have a classical backend that would host files and have storage on the same computer as it would use to execute the code. And all of this together actually got us an awesome project which worked in the end, and it was not only us who were impressed that things were actually working that well, but also of course all the judges, which finally led to us winning in the category of augmented intelligence, which was very awesome. So this project really showed me how great WebXR already is, and that we are not far away from, if you want to say so, a Web 4.0 incorporating a mixture of WebXR 3D and AI. And this is also a great thing for us developers or aspiring developers, because now is the time to get into these topics and potentially offer a unique product service in the future. And my guess is that these kind of web apps will be all in demand within the next 5 years. So if you want to learn more about WebXR, leave a comment below, and of course check out the Needle engine and the project with the links in the video description. But that's all for this video, so as always, thanks a lot for watching and see you next time.